You are listening to the Educated Podcast.
Welcome to the Educated Apes podcast.
Seamless. That's without as fucking stressing us all out.
Yarping on
and doing French impressions.
talking random
Egging me on
BS.
to be French and things.
You used to do love your improvising, whatever you call it, impersonations.
Just how we warm up for the show, mate. Just gotta get the vocal cords ready, pretending to be French.
Aaron's actually training, which is... I mean, we haven't had, like, legit proof, but he's
just said he's
actually training, yeah, so... I mean, we can't really take the piss out of him, can we? We can't say anything.
No, can't say a word. But...
So it's just got us two for the 99th ep.
It's back to old school for one last one before
the big 100.
Big hundo, where we've got
The ton. Step closer to a ton.
We've got a show prepared.
I mean, yeah.
Anything could happen on the 100th episode.
The 100th episode should be a laugh. We are planning it for not coming Friday, the Friday after. But I think I'm going to release an ep between now and then. And I think I'm going to just like siphon out some good parts of old eps and put them together.
Best bits.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it'd take quite a while, so let's see how much free time I've got. That's not.
By that he means we're not going to follow through on this promise again. See on
like
Instagram
meme.
for reference.
Yeah, just like that Instagram meme. I mean, I didn't notice. I mean, it's Halloween tonight, and
Happy Halloween, everyone.
I was surprised when you come to the door because I didn't think it was you. I thought it was a guy dressed up as Kim Jong-un.
Yeah, look.
If you want to model your high fade to the homies.
That's a fresh high fade. That I can't even see it. It's a fresh high fade.
What's possessed you to go with the high fade? I mean, have you been watching too much like reality TV or?
I've been watching Trump arguing with Kim and like what I've seen.
I've got to pick a side.
It was either the wig or the orange dinosaur.
I'm going to pick a side.
No. I to be fair, mate, I got a picture that I've seen of an haircut. Thought this looks good. Took it to the barbers. The barber did what I wanted.
But you just didn't look like you
Just didn't. I don't look how I thought I'd look with said haircut. I now look a little bit like a North Korean dictator. So it's better now because the hair's started to grow back.
Yeah.
Last week it was like to the bone on the sides.
Really?
Like, so yeah. So we'll see. We'll get in there. It'll grow back in. It's no problem. I think.
That's the good thing about hair. It always grows back.
Yeah.
That's why when my missus gets upset because I shave mine off, she's like, I'm like, it's got to be back, and then I just shave it again. No one can tell you how you do your hair.
No, just leave it.
You just sneak off, get it shaven. We're on the cusp, and I know we've refrained from talking about it because we had like 3 whole weeks in a row or something where we just hammered the subject, but UFC 270.
Oh, Jesus Christ. We can break it down.
At Madison Square Garden.
We could have an intelligent conversation about it.
Without Aaron talking absolute BS.
Yeah.
Mate, this card. This card is the card. I mean, yes, Conor fought Mayweather, and I mean, it was a spectacle, and we all enjoyed it. I personally enjoyed it, and we spoke about how much we enjoyed it on this podcast. But this card is phenomenal. For an MMA fan, for an onlooker, from the casual fan, I mean, everyone's got to love this card.
It's too late.
What do you mean?
Should have done it straight after Mayweather and Floyd. While the hype train was still big on
Mayweather
fighting.
and Floyd's the same person.
Oh, sorry, Mayweather and Conor. They should have dropped this card.
Oh, what? Just to put it out there?
Just to keep, because it was fresh in everyone's mind, wasn't it?
Well, I think people have been waiting on this. I think.
No, we have. I don't know how many casuals have. Sorry, but look at the ratings recently.
Yeah.
The ratings haven't been great.
No.
And the main event shouldn't be the main event.
Before we talk about this, should we talk about recent happenings in the UFC? Or
yeah, let's do it.
So we've had this last weekend, but the weekend before, which we sort of brushed on, but that Darren Till,
yeah,
great, and all the stuff that's come out between him and Mike Platinum Perry, and the possible fight set up there.
He's gonna smoke Mike Perry.
You think?
Yeah, Mike Perry's a big punch.
I mean,
he's a brawler.
Yeah.
Darren Till's kickboxing's legit as fuck. He's going to piece him up.
It is crazy good.
Yeah.
That whole division is just unreal.
About to enter the Darren Till era.
You reckon?
I honestly,
You seriously
I
like?
honestly think, like, I didn't. I was sleeping on him because of Cowboy, and like I didn't really pay that much attention. Then I looked back through and like I read about what he's done and like he all the mad shit that's gone on with him, and he just seems like he's ready. And I've not, like he's got that belief, like that world champion belief, where he's not talking about I'm gonna go do this. He's saying like I'm the greatest in the world, and people don't normally start banding that about until they're on that level.
Well, I've seen on some forums and I've heard it on the MMA Hour and a couple of other things that UFC's meant to be coming to England in March around that time.
We go in.
Well, we have to go.
Yeah.
But when it does, could they go to Liverpool? That's the big question. Did they go London or did they go Liverpool? Like, I guess Liverpool's only just reared its head, but
So what they do? They
What?
just go back to Manchester.
no, I think like
No, they go back to Manchester and let Bisping headline it. And
it depends what happens this weekend.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. Bisping, if he loses the belt to GSP, just let him headline it against some nobody, and then let Bisping headline it and put Darren Till as the co-main.
Maybe against Perry if he wins in
Yeah,
December.
the place would go insane. The
Yeah.
place would be electric if they did that.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, it was mental when Bisping fought there against Henderson.
yeah.
I've seen Dan Henderson, absolute legend of the sport, by the way, fight live twice, and he's lost both times. But I still consider him one of the best fighters of all time.
I think he just got thrown.
If he
I
did-
mean, I think he legit beat Bisping, but
I don't. No, seriously, you've got to score it on rounds.
right,
Score it as a whole fight, he beat Bisping.
yeah,
But if you score it on rounds, Bisping won 3 rounds.
yeah. I guess and it's a round.
It's a round-decided sport. It's not like Pride, where they used to score it on a whole fight.
It was 5 rounds. Anyway, it was a main event, wasn't it?
Yeah,
So he won 3 out of 5.
yeah.
Yeah,
So, he won the fight.
yeah. I mean,
Dan Henderson would beat Bisping or John Jones or Anderson Silva in any of those title fights he had. There's an argument he's the greatest of all time
yeah, maybe, yeah,
because he beat Fedor at heavyweight. He won the Pride Grand Prix.
he's been
He won the- he was-
champion a hell of a load of.
He was the light heavyweight and the middleweight champion at the same time in Pride,
Yeah,
and he held the middleweight belt in Strikeforce.
yeah,
If he'd got a UFC belt in his career, he
Yeah.
would have been the greatest of all
yeah.
time.
Who's done as much as that?
Yeah,
No one.
and
Did
I've
you,
seen him lose twice.
did you see it catch up on any of the UFC from the weekend?
Sorry, who fought? Is this the card that's just
Yeah,
happened?
the Brunson versus Machida fight.
Do you know, I didn't-
Brunson just ran through Machida.
I did not see any of it. I just
Crazy.
see.
The Dragon was
I was
back.
working. Do you know? I completely missed this that it was even on, and there's some good bloody Lineker's fighting on there.
Yeah.
Munoz is still. Is that Mark Munoz?
No, it's a different one. Yeah.
Jesus Christ! I was gonna say you can't.
Pedro Munoz, and he finished the guy with a one-arm guillotine, and it was quality. But I was going to talk about Cody Covington. Did you not see Colby? Sorry, Colby.
He
Covington.
beat M.I.A.
Yeah, beat Damian Maia. It was sort of like a stand-up trading fight. I mean, he's a crazy wrestler, so Maia just couldn't
Take him down.
No.
And then he got pieced up.
pieced up. I mean, like, it was sort of to and fro.
Oh, okay.
It sort of like brought Maia to strike.
I
It was really interesting.
Missed the whole. I didn't even know there was a card on. That's how
But it was more-
dark I went this weekend.
More the off the card sort of thing, because he was just slating Brazil, and they started like throwing bottles at him and shouting, like chanting.
Was
that.
it in Brazil?
Yeah, it was in
Sao Paulo.
Sao Paulo, that's it. Yeah, but yeah. I'm just trying to get at the fact that this 170 bracket.
So all the Brazilians got beat up.
Yeah, Brazil, like, obviously they got spanked for some reason.
Brunson
It's a
doing
shame.
work.
Brunson was sick, man. The fucking
It's a good win for Brunson.
yeah,
but, I
puts
mean,
him.
It's a good win, but at the same time, does anyone like care about Machida anymore?
I mean, you can argue that he's still, like a
What?
striking specialist.
Everyone figured him out pretty sharpish.
Maybe.
Do you not remember Joe Rogan screaming, "This is the era of the dragon" and all that shit? And then, like, a month later, Shogun kicked the shit out of him. And then he got robbed. Shogun got robbed on the decision.
Yeah.
And then he come back and just fucking went, "Fuck this," and head kicked him.
Yeah, I do remember.
So, I mean, for me, it was a bit silly. The whole era of Machida lasted about a week.
Right, but then I was just saying that fight, the M.I.A fight, it opens sort of the 170 up. Guess Cody, does he put himself up for Colby Covington? Does he put himself up for like a...
Where's he ranked now?
I don't know whether this is his next ranking or...
Just click on him then. 7th in the world, Colby Covington. 13-1. Well, who's he calling out at 7th in the world? Can we just see the welterweight rankings?
Yeah.
Is this him shouting at everyone?
Yeah, it's funny.
Was he trying to be funny?
We interrupt your video to bring you important breaking hunger news.
Fuck you, Snickers. Fucking Snickers. Fucking fake video footage of Marwan Fellaini jumping around in a car park.
So we got 11 seconds.
Sorry about this, folks. Snickers have done us the dirty and put a fucking advert on the video.
Where's the what of it? Jesus, how long is this win?
It's on now. That's 11 seconds easily. So
we go to the judges' scorecard for a decision. The 30-27 and 30-26 for the winner by unanimous decision.
30-26 was a 10-8 in there.
Chaos.
Oh shit, Josh.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 Chaos Covington.
There you go. Here's DC, looking like a retired fighter.
Yeah.
Colby Covington, you asked for Damian M.I.A. You got Damian M.I.A. Why did you ask for this fight? And did it go as you expected it to?
Do you know what?
I should have knocked him out. Brazil, you're a dog. All you filthy animals suck. I got one thing to say. Tyrone Woodley, I'm coming for you. If you don't answer the front door, I'm going to knock it in and I'm going to take what's mine. That welterweight belt.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Colby.
Hey,
It's like wrestling, isn't it?
love him here, but they love him in Clovis, California. Colby Covington.
Translating tonight. We ain't translating tonight, baby. All you need to know is bring me my belt. Where you at, Tyrone Woodley?
I can't.
That's awesome. I love it. I think it's
so-
hilarious.
For a man who hates the WWE so much, that couldn't have been more WWE.
But I think it's just so.
you don't
like-
answer the door, I'm gonna kick it in. Shut the fuck up. What the fuck?
What?
It's just funny. It's not bad. Like, you got to generate hype somewhere.
Yeah.
But you're the 7th in the world. Calm the fuck down. Be a top 5 guy before you start screaming at the. Oh, Jesus Christ.
We just got kicked off Facebook.
We got kicked off Facebook for playing a Fight Night video.
Shit.
This is what's happening now. The fucking FBI are onto us.
Shit, Facebook knew. How did Facebook know?
Facebook knew.
God.
Jesus. Well, that's it. That's it. They're evil.
They're evil.
Right, we're going to have to find a new place to live stream, folks, because we can't trust Facebook anymore. What are you doing now? You're not trying to research this.
No, I'm not trying to research it. I was just going to share it. But,
So if we got kicked
your video
off
is
Facebook-
blocked. Only you can see this. I'm not trying to research it. I was just...
Right, I'll turn it off.
But,
It's fine. If it's not live this once, it's not live. We're just going to ruin the audio for everyone else if we keep fanning about with it.
Yeah.
So, come on. Colby Covington needs to fight someone in the top 5 before he starts screaming at everyone.
Well, he's just beat M.I.A, who, what was it, came off, you know...
I don't...
He just came off the... his title shot. I mean, it wasn't a great title shot. It was... He couldn't effectively take round Tyron, but he still just beat the guy that was the number 1 contender. I mean, it depends what happens between Woodley and Masvidal. Woodley versus Masvidal, that is... You know what I mean? That is a go-to fight. That is deciding who's at the top.
Do you really think? I think...
What do you mean, do you really think?
Well, obviously, but I think Woodley's going to run through him.
Why?
Because I don't...
What? Who are you on about?
Masvidal.
What if he beats...
I think Woodley's going to run through Masvidal.
No, I'm not saying Woodley. Thompson versus Masvidal this weekend. That's the deciding fight, isn't it?
Well,
For who's
no,
at the
because
top.
Thompson can't have another title shot.
I mean, if he wins, if he keeps winning, he gets a title shot.
They did
Sure,
this
that's
with
the way
John
it
Fitch.
works.
They did this with John Fitch.
What, and they just let him just bum about in
In
that
the
division
GSP
until...
era, do you not remember? Might have been before you started watching. So John Fitch fought
I do know who
GSP.
John Fitch was, and I don't know why, but he was just knocking about the division.
He beat GSP.
Right.
Right? No, he didn't beat GSP.
He got
fought
beat.
GSP.
Yeah.
Got beat.
Yeah.
Then he won about 3 fights on the bounce. Fought GSP again. Got beat up again. Then he just kept winning, right? But never got a title shot again because he's boring as sin and he couldn't beat GSP.
Yeah.
And then eventually lost like twice on the bounce and they just cut him as quick as they could. And then he was running around in like 1FC and shit. Because when Dream was a thing, because the UFC had no use for him because he couldn't beat the champ.
And they just didn't want to
And he was just literally blanketing people.
Yeah.
Holding them down, barely touching them with shots. Just doing enough to not get stood up.
Yeah.
Then holding the next guy down. Just doing enough not to get stood up and winning everything fucking 27-30. Or 30-27. So he got cut as soon as he got a chance to cut him. Basically, so...
Poor guy.
But would the boys...
he didn't ever get... Why wouldn't they give him another chance, though?
Because it was silly both times. He couldn't take GSP down, and GSP just pieced him up both times. Literally just beat the fuck out of him standing up.
So he didn't eat...
And he wasn't getting any better. His stand-up wasn't evolving. It wasn't like he suddenly started knocking people out and you thought, oh shit, we're onto something. He just kept taking everybody down and grinding them out and trying to get a title shot again.
I don't know where... Right, so... I don't know where it comes to the point where you would, give someone... You know what I mean? Like, if they just keep getting beaten, like... I'm trying to think of another classic case of where there's been a champ, like John Jones. Right, so say
DC.
John Jones was like reigning, yeah. DC, he got beat, and John Jones stayed clean in an ideal world where there's no such thing as steroids and
after this
parties and blow and strippers. Yeah. Like an ideal world. That's
after
not the
this
ideal
fight
world,
with DC,
yeah,
DC would never have got another title shot against John.
No,
never.
Not even if you went on like a 5, 6 fight winning streak.
What are you gonna do? How do you sell it? At the end of the day, people...
He's the number one. Maybe he's not...
He's the best of
maybe he's not
else.
the number one in the world, but he's the number one contender. And even... I mean, you can give John other title shots. Do you know what I mean?
But how do you sell it? How do you sell him convincingly getting beat twice?
To me, like, it's sold. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no way that we can... no way you could say he doesn't deserve it. If he's knocking around the top and he's always beating people, like, you know what I mean? Like, if AJ was back, he was beating AJ, he was beating other people
Gus.
in that division. Yeah, Gus. Just
Ostomy,
like... Yeah. And, what's his name? The lion guy
Manoa.
from London, yeah. Jimmy Manuel. If he was beating all these guys and then not getting a title shot, as a fight fan, it doesn't bother me. It legit does not bother me that he maybe keeps trying and losing because he's the second. Do you know what I mean? Like, you still watch, like, Chelsea. Like, you still watch United versus Chelsea or City versus Chelsea,
right.
even if they keep getting beaten.
Right, but
like Barca and Madrid.
Remember before City had all that money,
Yeah.
and United used to just beat them most years.
Yeah.
And even though it was a derby, nobody, when you watched it on telly, you used to look through the fixtures list, and you wouldn't look for the City game. You'd look for the Liverpool game. Arsenal when they were the top,
Yeah.
and the Chelsea game when they were the second best team, but you'd always look for the Liverpool game because they always had a good game. You
Yeah.
never used to look for the City game on the calendar. If you're a match-going hardcore fan, you used to look for the City game because it's still a big derby to you. But to the world, nobody looked for the Manchester derby until City got all that money and started winning them. And then it was back into who's going to win.
Yeah, but before, if it was just like Sheffield Wednesday,
Yeah,
Sheffield
but like
United.
let's say City were in like Stoke, right? Stoke were in the Prem, Crewe in League One.
Yeah,
That was always a derby, Stoke and Crewe. Stoke and Crewe now isn't a derby because they never play each other. So Crewe and Vale are now the derby.
right.
But if Stoke and Crewe came up in the cup, nobody would be talking about it being a fucking a derby, would they?
No,
because no one cares anymore.
They just see Crewe get a
The
spanking.
Crewe fans would give a shit, and the Stoke fans wouldn't be that arsed.
Well, they give a shit, but they know that it wasn't as big as.
It's not as fair. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Like with GSP and John Fitch back in the day, when you'd seen him get pieced up, or Josh Koscheck, he got battered by GSP twice. Like, there was no point in him ever getting another title shot. It was conclusive.
Yeah.
You can't sell someone just beating the shit out of someone so many times.
Even if they are the legit second. Yeah. There
doesn't
needs to be
matter.
a story behind it. There needs to be some sort of...
You've got to make money somehow.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I think that the story, and this is why someone like Darren Till and someone like Conor McGregor and other people, that's why they succeed so well in the MMA, because they're bringing this, they build a story. You know, Conor McGregor builds a story like, I'm gonna take his head off, I'm gonna take his head clean off. He generates some sort of hype, some sort of, you know, animosity between them, or maybe even not animosity, because sometimes he can still be humble, but you just get drawn into the character. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's someone that's a bit more bland, maybe, and doesn't know how. Like, DC was on the wrong end of this, where he didn't really know how to market himself, and he sort of played the "why don't people love me" card. Do you know what I mean? Which is sort of like I don't think you can ever play that. Not if you're in this sort of atmosphere with this sort of like crowd of people.
You've got to legitimately not give a fuck.
Yeah, you can go that way.
What people
yeah.
like or don't like.
Yeah.
You've just got to do you, and then they'll like you.
Yeah.
Even like the highly scripted world of wrestling, the guys that normally become megastars are normally not the ones that were written.
No.
They're normally the ones where they've gone, you're a bit like this in the locker room, so just go up there and turn the volume up on yourself.
Yeah, just exacerbate the characteristics that you show naturally.
So like The Rock, famously, when he first came over, his dad and his granddad were wrestlers.
Yeah.
And he was like the first third generation wrestler.
Yeah.
And he'd come over as like some happy-go-lucky Samoan with fucking like bright tassels on and shit when they first got him.
Right.
And he was called like Rocky something.
Okay.
And he was fucking wrestling around like a fucking idiot and doing drop kicks and trying to pretend he could fly around the ring and all that shit.
Yeah.
Nobody give a shit. He used to get booed out the building. Then he'd come back, they repackaged him with a bunch of guys, and it was like, essentially they were like the Black Panthers, called the Nation of Domination. And he was like, it's just a load of black guys, but you should beat the shit out of everyone and like put the fists up. It was a bit fucking Black Power type shit.
It sounds like a porno, Nation of Domination.
Yeah, they did that.
Yeah, go on.
They did that, and then in that, they were bad guys for ages, but then The Rock, because he was just left to his own devices, was that funny, being the main guy with the microphone and leading them, that he started getting cheered even though everyone else was getting booed.
Yeah.
And then they were like, oh shit, we're onto something, and then they just let him run with the microphone on his own, and that's how you got The Rock, because he changed his own name, started referring to himself in the third person, and as they say, the rest's history. Like, you know what I mean? So,
and he really built a character. Like, a standout, iconic. Like, everyone wanted to be The Rock.
But if you hear interviews with The Rock's like that, just a bit more mellow.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, there's parts of his personality that are like that.
Yeah, I've seen an Instagram post of Kevin Hart that's like, he's on the side of a boat, and it's just a comment below it. It's just The Rock's just put, why don't you jump off, or something like that.
Them two made me laugh, like when they were doing them videos for Ride Along or whatever it was called. Not Ride Along, Central Intelligence.
Yeah.
And they're like filming, and then they're like bumping into each other, like, get out of the fucking your way. Like,
Kevin Hart's just so like, do you know what I mean? He's the sort of person that if he was a mate at school or whatever, you could throw shade at him and you'd have the best joke and he'd just turn it round back at you. Do you know what I mean? He'd throw it straight back at you. He'd take it, he'd absorb it and just sort of like fire it straight back.
Some of his stand-up's so good, man.
It's crazy.
Been watching some of his stand-up with the missus recently. So funny. So funny. He's got a bit about a raccoon in his garden. I don't know if we could play it after what's just happened, but the bit with the whole thing's basically about a raccoon that was in his garden, and like how animals aren't scared of him because he's not intimidated, and essentially it makes out like this raccoon stands up and fucking goes bap 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 at him with a gun, right? But then he keeps bringing it up through the entire show. like just randomly in the middle of other jokes, and the audience are losing the shit. I can't do any impression of it, so I'd ruin it.
Yeah.
But you just need to see it. It's so funny. Just keeps coming in with other jokes and just appearing in the middle of other punchlines. It's so funny though. Just about this raccoon or possum or some shit like that.
Yeah, you'll have to YouTube it.
Yeah, I'll show you before I leave.
No, I mean the audience.
Yeah, YouTube that shit. Kevin Hart. I don't know what the fuck. Just put raccoon.
Sorry if shit got a bit fucking thingy earlier. Our we live stream on Facebook at the moment, and it got taken down because we were just playing that clip from that Colby Covington clip. I feel like we're gonna maybe live stream on something else and then share it via Facebook, so then people from Facebook can still come onto it. But we might do it on some other website. I mean, YouTube's not as strict as that. I can't believe Facebook's gone
strict as well. Vimeo. That's what we need to do.
Yeah, something like that. We'll figure it out anyway. We'll look for the best one.
Fuck YouTube. Fuck Facebook. Tossers.
You're on about how they've become
Illuminati. I said this before the show. They probably heard us.
Yeah.
I said before the show that they steal everyone's shit.
Yeah, Facebook are moving into live streaming video games, which makes no sense. Like, we can't show something on YouTube, but people can live stream games, and games are like, I guess it gives games exposure, doesn't it? Like, if you developed a game, you're not going to care how many people share it.
Are you allowed to stream the stories though?
Yeah, that's a good thing, because like if you go all the way to the end of a storyline and just show everyone what happens, then surely people won't want to buy the game because they'll just be like,
are you just allowed to stream multiplayer?
I don't know.
That might be the rules.
The ins and outs of it.
Because streaming multiplayer is literally just an advert for the game, innit? Yeah. Essentially, making it look fun.
I think this censorship, like, someone's going to find its way around it. I don't think people can be censored that much anymore.
Oh, well, they seem to be doing a good job. They just
obviously, but then surely something else is going to pop along and, you know what I mean, take away that censorship.
Yeah, they could do. Don't know, the dark web, mate.
The dark web. Got to stay off there.
Yeah, that's like creepy place.
That's where Kevin Spacey hangs out.
Yeah. What a fucking... Have you heard the full story?
Why has he come out gay? I don't get it. Well, is he gay? Or...
He's always been rumoured that he was gay.
All right, okay.
So he's been accused of being a paedophile.
Yeah.
But have you read the full story?
I have not. I've just seen the memes. And that's just like anyone in this day and age.
Essentially, he...
I know that Netflix has booted him. I read an article on that earlier.
So essentially what's happened is this kid... I forgot
he's not a kid now, but he was a kid back then.
Anthony Rapp.
1986.
Yeah, Anthony Rapp. 30 years ago.
How long has this guy lived his life till this day before he's spoke out?
31 years.
Right, okay.
So 31 years ago.
Yep.
He was 14.
Yep.
He was at a Hollywood party.
Yep.
Because
14-year-olds are invited to Hollywood parties.
He was an actor.
Oh, right.
So he was a kid, but he was there.
Is that what fucked what's his name up? Macaulay Culkin and all them?
Yeah, probably.
They just get
Hollywood
too much exposure to Hollywood parties.
So apparently he went in a room to he was bored at the party because he was 14, didn't know what was going on.
Right.
So he went in a room.
Yes.
Turns out it was Spacey's room.
Right. This is getting right.
Right.
So he just walked into. So I'm bored.
They're just walking around houses. He's 14. You do weird shit when you're 14.
Yeah, I guess so.
So he went in this room. He put a basketball game or something on.
Yep.
Right, so he sat watching that, probably sick of watching people do blow downstairs and not knowing what's going on.
Yep.
So he's in this room watching basketball. A couple other guys come in there, watch the basketball with him, no problems. Then Spacey comes in, he's watching the game. No one's complaining. Nope. Don't know if it's a bedroom or what. I didn't really. I just heard this. Then everyone left. There was only him and Spacey in there. Then apparently Spacey was steaming. And tried to fuck him, but not
right.
But from what I've read, I'm not saying it's right because the kid's 14. From what I've read, he tried to fuck him. The kid sort of said no a few times, and then he left him alone.
Yeah. Did Spacey know the guy was a minor?
Spacey says he doesn't remember any of this because he doesn't remember a party 31 years ago, and if he did act like that, he's sorry.
Right.
I don't think the issue is. The issue is, did he know he was a 14-year-old? He'll always say, well, I don't even remember doing it, so no, I didn't know it was a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
I thought it was a fully grown man and I was trying to come on to him, you know?
Yeah.
That'd be the argument that he makes if it gets any further than this, than this defamation of Kevin Spacey.
Yeah. Well, he's already fucked, isn't he? Really?
Yeah, he is. But I mean, this is the whole witch hunt Hollywood thing. In 1986, if they were all steaming at a party, did he expect 14-year-olds to be in a room? Probably not. Did he think he could pull this kid? Probably. Do you know what I mean? It's Kevin fucking Spacey.
So
in my head,
a 14-year-old boy, right? I'm just thinking a 14-year-old boy looks like a 14-year. Like, we had some standout kids in our year, maybe, that could pull off. But you 14 years old, you're not getting served.
I was getting served at a pub at 16.
Yeah, but that's not 14.
No, but I don't know. Could I have got served at 14 if I had a bit more bollocks about me? Maybe. I don't know. I was going to the pub 2 years underage. Could I have pulled 4 years off? I don't know.
I
don't know.
It's situational, isn't it? I
mean, some kids have got a beard at fucking 13.
I just want someone to tell me, should I be mad at Kevin Spacey?
Well, what you should be mad at Kevin Spacey for about is the fact that because he got caught out for trying to fuck a 14-year-old, he just used his sexuality as an excuse. So he just basically bashed all gay people.
This is what I was getting at before on the group chat when I posted it.
Like, it's like he just went, well, of course I tried to fuck a kid. I'm gay. Like, well, what do you mean? Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, you can't say that.
No.
That's nonsense. Like, that's why gay people are fuming at you.
I think we've moved past the point where people assume that gay people are pedos.
I hope we have.
That's what I'm saying. I think we're past that now. And I think Spacey, I don't know. If he is gay, right?
He's bisexual.
Whatever.
No, I'm just pointing that out.
No, but I mean, whatever. Like, as in, like, Spacey, you be whatever you want to be.
Be a unicorn. They all like being unicorns now for some reason.
But the thing we're trying to nail down here is, did you try and fuck this 14-year-old kid?
Yeah.
But it's like this.
Remember R. Kelly pissed at a 14-year-old and didn't go to jail?
First she was 15.
That chick was 14.
Right.
That chick was 14 in a nightclub. R. Kelly pissed on her. Now, if R. Kelly's not going to jail for pissing on a chick, then is Kevin Spacey really going to go to jail for...
Not for this far out. I don't think a judge is going to be like, take this story of a guy this many years ago. I mean, if it was a bit more sinister and it comes out that it was, do you know what I mean, it was set up, but the way that you've explained it to me, if that's the way the kid explained it, or the guy explained it when he was a child, then it's sort of very hard to nail anything. It's very loose and fast, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like all this Weinstein stuff. It's like, when we said it on the podcast,
the Weinstein stuff's pretty
it's
bad.
like how long ago were the allegations and such, and why is it taking people to get to a position? Like, I think on the way up they wouldn't have said anything.
I think the problem with the Weinstein stuff isn't that he was trying it on a little bit aggressively with some women.
Yeah.
Because men across the world, and women for that matter, do that all the time.
Yeah.
Play the aggressive come on game and see if it works. That, I don't think, is the major problem. I think the major problem is he was holding people's careers hostage.
Yeah,
if
because
he
he's in
didn't
that
play
position.
his game. Yeah, he
that's
was
the
using
whole
his power.
That's the whole boss power play that you can see in maybe any porn site you pull up. There's going to be some sort of boss or power play sort of situation.
If you get talking to a girl, you're not in charge of her in any way at work. There's no working relationship.
No.
You invite her to a bar for dinner, drinks. You say to her, like you put a little bit of like, come back to our room. Come on, like put the like the hard fucking play hardball with her.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what else to describe it. And it works, right? No one complains.
No one's like, but if it
doesn't work, she just goes, I'm not going on a date with him again. He was desperate to get me up to his room.
Yeah.
Right? She moves on with her life. You've not touched her. You've not forced her into doing anything because you had nothing hanging over her head in a public space.
No.
This guy had stuff hanging over these girls' heads. Well, if you don't give me a back rub, you're not going to work in Hollywood.
Yeah, you wanted that part, didn't you?
Yeah, you wanted to be an actress. Like, all that shit, just like, that's the worst bit about it.
Yeah.
The actual, from what I've read, I mean, there's some, I haven't read the ones about rape.
It's like the Matt Damon stuff. Like, he's like, oh yeah, I heard that he was a bit pushy, and it's like, Matt, what did you hear? Because like, do you know what I mean? Oh yeah, I heard he was a bit of a womanizer. Like, I think you've heard a lot more, Matt, and I think
Yeah, you've
only
worked
now
with him for years and years, Matt.
Only now. it's
Listen,
come-
Matt. Fucking Matt Damon. All he can say is his name. We've seen that. Team America.
But why has it come to this point where he's had to admit?
Because Matt Damon's probably been at parties joking along with that fat fuck, and now it's all gone tits up. He's like, oh shit, I better put on my fucking white night suit and ride out there and pretend I knew nothing.
Because
Like,
someone might call me on my bullshit, or
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, oh, Matt.
didn't Ben Affleck squeeze a girl's boob or something on TV?
I mean, they've got to have some rope. They've got to let them loose a little bit.
I mean, the thing is now, like, you've got to... You can't kill any sort of, like, romance or any sort of, like, going off a feeling, but that's what it's going to kill.
Yeah, it's going to be like...
It's going to kill...
It's going to be like thumbprint recognition. Yes, I agree for you to come on to me. Bleep.
Yeah.
Or we're all going to have, like, body cams or something, and it'll be like...
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, no, look, I didn't touch her. Here's the recordings from that evening. Or
Yeah.
Like, it's going to get hard.
It's all going to get
It's
to the
gonna get
point
a
where
lot
people
more.
can't... There's going to be no, like... You can't be suggestive
It's
because
going to be, yeah.
if you're being suggestive, then... Well, that's not what I was suggesting. Well, that's what I thought she was suggesting. It's not like he should...
It's very hard. Like, it's like when you text someone. Like, if I text you something, I could text you... Do you know what I mean? I could text you an answer to a question.
Yeah.
In a number of ways, and you could interpret it in
However you want.
1,000 different ways.
Well, it's like last night. If someone had read our group conversation last night, I was going to A-Aron, we'll fucking add you on the logo, but we'll just find some little shitty, insignificant monkey to shove in the corner.
Yeah.
Right? And if we weren't friends and someone read that, they'd think, fucking hell, he's just being awful to this fucking lad.
There's a lot of built-up context, a lot of built... And that can happen in conversations. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? You could be in the office, and there could be... There could be... Like, Oh, what did I say? I said I went up to some woman at work, and I said something like, "Oh, can you come over here? I need to show you this." And she went, "Oh, I've got a husband, you know," like that. And I was like,
Yeah.
that's just banter. Sorry,
Yeah.
like that's a joke. But if it was the other way around, and maybe like there was some like you hear things in offices and whatever, but there's a 1,000 ways to interpret like that sort of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sort of tells and the way people say things, and if we're going to start scrutinizing, I mean, Kevin Spacey, if you try to fuck a 14-year-old,
Yeah,
I mean,
fuck you,
maybe
Kevin.
this 14-year-old should have gone to someone in an adult responsibility and
At
said,
the
"Do you know
time,
what I mean, Kevin got a bit
Kevin
weird over
Spacey.
there."
And the thing is, as well, if you'd come up at the time, Kevin Spacey might have remembered what he was doing. Kevin Spacey might have come out the next...
I mean, it was 1986 though, so
Yeah, but Kevin Spacey might have come out the next day to the kid and gone, "Look, do you know what? I didn't know you were 14.
yeah,
I really didn't. I thought you were older. I come on to you, maybe a little bit aggressively. I had too much to drink. I apologise now."
yeah.
Then this kid probably wouldn't have been harbouring these weird feelings about it for... And I'm not saying you can fix paedophilia with an apology, by the way. But, like, do you know, because he never actually fucking molested this kid in the way of, like, ripped his trousers off or fucking, like, held him down and did anything to him.
No.
He, like, came onto him really strongly.
Yeah,
Like, if he'd have apologised the next day, said, "Look, I didn't know his age," and all that other shit, they probably could have solved this to a degree. Like, the kid probably wouldn't have trusted people much for a while.
no.
But, like...
Or the kid would have learnt a lesson, I guess.
Yeah, don't go
whether
to-
you want to teach that lesson to a child at 14 years old, I don't know, but maybe it's a lot better than him living with this for, what do you say, 31 years.
Or
and
if it
then-
was really bad.
And what's made him get to this point where now he's thought,
Everyone's coming out and talking about all the exposures in Hollywood. That's what's made him think now.
shit, there's a storm coming, I think. There's a storm
coming. That Cody fucking... What's his name? That was in The Lost Boys. What's his fucking name? Corey Feldman. You seen this geezer?
No, what?
So years ago, he did an interview saying that there's paedophiles in Hollywood and all that, and they were the reason that the other Corey Haynes, killed himself.
Yeah.
And then he give a what's it called? He give an interview, and Barbara Windsor. Is it Barbara Windsor? No, Barbara Windsor. Is she American? One of the Barbaras, one of the famous Barbaras,
Yeah.
American. Was like on the interview going, "You're trying to ruin a whole industry, you know." Like making out like him accusing people of being paedophiles was him attempting to ruin an industry. Then for years he's been saying he can't name names because he'll get sued and they want to kill him and all this other shit.
Yeah.
And by the way, them hippie pants are cool as fuck.
Yeah, I was
You're
looking
gonna
at
go travelling.
I was looking at them the other day. That's why they've popped up.
I want them. Send me a link to them. But yeah,
Just so people can see what we're looking at.
those crazy hippie pants.
I don't know if we'll get kicked off fucking you.
But no, so he said in 93 he'd give an interview to the cops.
And he gave like a list of who were paedophiles.
And they said they've done nothing about it, but it should be on an official report, which should be public record now.
Yeah.
So he's saying that if someone goes back and finds that public record, they can do it for him.
Yeah.
But basically, all the cops were doing was pressurising him into saying Michael Jackson was a paedophile.
Right.
Because that was the big name they were after. And he said that all his dealings with Michael Jackson were well above board, and Michael was nothing but nice to him. And he never had any bad dealings with MJ. He never touched him inappropriately. He was always just friendly with him, and not in any sexually at all.
No.
So, but they were just fishing for him to say that for ages. Then his best friend Corey Haynes died, killed himself. The other geezer there.
Yeah.
And he was molested. And there was an interview with the two of them. They had their own little reality show at one point, like called Being Corey or something.
Yeah.
And there was an interview with the pair. Well, there was a scene on that with the pair of them where Corey Haynes was going like, "I was getting molested and you weren't there for me," blah blah blah, like going real dark. And then that guy was saying, "No, I was as well. Like, how could I be there for you? I was dealing with it myself." And this kid's weird as fuck now. This Corey Feldman. But what's it called? He's fucking weird. Like, don't get me wrong, he's not a normal human. But he claims that there's like a massive paedophile ring in Hollywood.
If they can't whittle it out of Hollywood, then what? Like, where does everything else stand a chance? If you get me,
Mate, they couldn't get it out of British fucking politics and fucking British media for years. Like, fucking, they were all hiding fucking Savile. I don't care what anyone says.
I mean the BBC, but like,
There's a royal. There's a fucking royal that hangs about with a known paedophile.
What? When do we get? I don't understand why it's not become. Why there isn't like some sort of like. Why are we not singling out the people that protected him? I don't. It's because people it's just so big of a scale that people can't sort of like zoom it in and just say like Jacko. Do you know what I mean? Like he did it, or do you know what I mean?
Spacey is the new one. But do you want to know? Do you remember when what's his name? Now this sounds well fucking batshit crazy, but do you remember when Alex Jones was on Joe Rogan?
Yep.
And he was on about intergalactic blood-sucking vampire paedophiles or whatever he was on about.
Yeah.
Right? Have you seen the study they've done on mice?
No, go on.
So they take an old mouse near death. They draw the blood out of a brand new young mouse and swap it, like transfuse it with the old mouse's blood. Yeah. And the old mouse starts living like a young mouse, running round, happy as Larry. Right? And these paedophiles, like, that's what Alex Jones, I'm not saying he's right, but it's weird that they've just done a study on transfusing blood and saying that, like, young blood out of other animals is making older people feel better.
So you legit think that...
No, but what I'm saying is it's weird how Hollywood's got a massive paedophile scandal going on, and yet Alex Jones has been saying there's a massive paedophile scandal in Hollywood for years, and they're using the blood of kids and all this other weird shit. And then now science have just proven that works and there's a big scandal breaking all at the same time. Very strange. I'm not saying he's right because I think he's well far-fetched and the intergalactic stuff's a bit fucking nuts. But what I'm saying is it's a very big coincidence that they found out that if you swap blood with young blood with old blood, it makes you feel younger. And that there's loads of paedophiles with loads of money. Just find that a bit mad.
It's
just a little bit.
It seems very like, like there's no, you're not gonna be able to nail anyone down unless this. Why isn't this Corey giving names?
Because he said that they're gonna try and kill him.
But he's creating enough noise that surely people will be like, well, we need to silence Corey now.
What happens if he gets suicide?
What do you mean if he gets what?
If he gets suicided. when they make it look like a suicide.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
they just say, look, he was always nuts.
Yeah, no.
And then it'll get brushed under the carpet because the media...
Yeah, but the fact that he's talking about it surely is warranted enough for people to target him.
At the moment, though, he's not naming names. And if the media make him out to be... Look, at the moment, he's better being alive. Because he's saying all this shit without naming names. And then you just keep painting him like a fucking loon.
Yeah.
To the point where the ideas get dismissed. It's like... If let's say someone really down to earth and normal, and I'm struggling to think of people in Hollywood like that. But like, take someone like Denzel Washington.
Okay.
Right, everyone loves Denzel. You've never heard Denzel doing anything loony.
Nope.
He's not a drug addict. He's never. If Denzel come out and said, "Look, they were molesting kids when I was younger," or Morgan Freeman or someone really like respected, the guy who plays Gandalf, Ian McKellen.
Yeah.
Someone like that, really respected, that nobody's ever had a problem with ever, come out and said all this, there'd be fucking absolute uproar. But because this fucking loon that was a child star that then started hanging about with Michael Jackson, and then recently he's had a reality TV show and has got a group of girls following around called Corey's Angels. Like, do you know what I mean? If you fucking, when you get to that level of loony, it's easy to dismiss you. So then it's easy to dismiss the whole claim.
Yeah.
Whereas you don't have to dismiss the whole claim if it's someone real serious. You can't dismiss everything.
If Spacey's found out not to have done it, is it a bit harsh that he's lost all this endorsement and all
I feel
this?
like you can't prove he did or didn't do it, but he's already apologised.
So he's sort of like...
He's apologised on
Can
the
you nail someone for what they did? I can't remember what I did at parties when I was like 18 or 17 or whatever.
No.
I mean, if you got really like into the highlight and into the limelight, sorry.
How old would Kevin Spacey been? 26, I think he said.
Right.
So he's 26. We knew what he was doing. He was a grown man. He
Yeah.
wasn't like a child. He's young, but he's not.
But if you're like smashed and at a party and...
But you've got to think, how many drugs was he on? How much alcohol did he take? What was going on? Did he think the kid was 18? I don't fucking know.
No.
Do I think you should be able to tell a 14-year-old? Yeah. Does that mean that every time you can tell if someone's 14? No. Is it the worst of all? If it was a 21-year-old lad, would anyone give a shit? Probably not. Is it one of them where...
It's that guy off Supermarket Sweep where that guy died in his pool. How old was he?
Dale?
Yeah.
Winton, the guy who died, he was 18.
Really?
It was old enough to be there.
Jesus.
Drowned in the pool, but he fucking choked to death, didn't he, or something?
Suppose he died from, asphyxiation, not... No, I don't know the ins and outs
I
of
thought he
it.
threw up and then fell in the pool.
Oh, really?
And passed out. And then
There's got to be some hard partying, because I mean...
Yeah. Well, nobody knew he was in the pool at the bottom. He fell in when no one knew he was there.
When it like dyed a different colour or something, or the water was a...
Yeah.
Did he have some like strange lighting in it?
Yeah, so nobody could see him at the bottom of the pool. They found him the next day with an hangover.
Fucking hell.
Like that, see, that sort of shit can happen to anyone that has a pool party and a load of drugs.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I don't know.
Are we going to stop people partying? Has everyone got a record where like every interaction they have with people?
It's just... I don't know.
But the thing is, the world is moving in a more progressive... Whether we like it or not, and whether we believe all of it's good or not, it is moving that way. Do you know what I mean? Like in 86, he might not have thought at 14 years old that he could do it now, could speak out about it. But maybe a 14-year-old now in that industry, most I would, if the same sort of like events happened to him, he'd most I be on Twitter the next day and say something about it.
14-year-old now would be just as scared, mate.
Do you?
These are fucking grown adults.
Yeah.
Like at 14, you could be the most confident fucking person in the world, but the reality is you're still scared of adults.
Yeah.
If they fucking...
But I mean, like the culture now is very sort of culture. Like society now is very sort of outspoken. Like people put their whole like kids put their whole lives on social media these days. So
yeah, but imagine being a kid, straight kid, getting molested by a bloke.
Yeah, I guess
being worried
yeah.
that someone's going to call you gay.
Yeah.
Just
And
being
maybe
worried
they're in a
about-
position of power. Like
being worried that like everyone's so proud of me because I've made it into being an actor at this age, and now he's going to ruin my career.
You don't know if he spoke to someone and they told him, you know, like,
just shut the fuck up.
yeah, who's Kevin Spacey? Like,
Yeah.
that never happened.
Yeah, you weren't at that party.
No.
See, it's a mad thing, because it's not like other industries where if you, well, it is kind of, but like, you know, if you're the best fucking whatever, pick your job. You're the best plasterer on the planet.
Yeah, you're not going to like massive drug fueled parties.
With other plasterers, or like you don't have plasterer raves or whatever. You don't. Also, like, if you're fucking the best plasterer on the planet, you could just show people pictures of your work and go, "Look how straight that is. Do you want me to do some work for you?"
Yeah.
Like, you haven't got some magical guy above you going, "Doesn't matter if you can plaster. I pick my plasterers." Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, got some Weinstein character saying,
"Suck this dick or you can't plaster my walls." Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's just,
plaster the roof of my mouth before you plaster that wall.
do you know what I mean? None of that's happening if you're a fucking electrician, like, no, or whatever. No, wire
No.
a house?
No.
No. Suck me off, then you can wire. It's all nonsense. So it's a hard industry. It's a weird industry.
That industry does rely on, you know what I mean, people in power, and they play on it. Like, it's the only one where you could openly sort of play on it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sort of like
Music
that
industry
happens-
as well.
Yeah. See, that happens in quite a lot of industries where it's sort of the general, like the apprentice thing, where the person comes in, they got to make the you sort of seen to, you have to do the work and that's sort of like that on steroids, I guess, where it's like you have to sort of bow to these powers. Like,
The thing is with the apprentice thing, though, in business or in especially trades,
yeah,
it's all normally in good spirits. It's like how you get to know them. It's how you get to...
yeah, I know.
You sort of see where the line is of what you can and can't say to them, like having a laugh
no,
and a
you get
joke.
you,
and then you get used to the fact that this guy's a fucking bit of an idiot, so you don't really talk to him. And then you learn, as daft as it sounds, you learn how to make a good brew. Then you start learning how to use the tools. Then you start learning how to do your job. And by the end of it, you think you know more than the guy who's taught you for 4 years. Then you go and try and start your own business. It always happens. But, like, do you know what I mean? Like, I think it's just because, like, your boss at work, right, might have all the power over you when you're an apprentice, right? And he tells you what time I'm picking you up at 6 and you better be up for 6 and yada, yada, yada. But at the end of the day, he isn't making millions. He isn't some sort of fucking coke fiend. And he isn't going, well, if you want to... carry on, you're going to have to let me get a bit of that ass.
Yeah, if you want that part or you want that. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's none of that happens. It might happen in business. It might be like the secretary sucking the boss off and she gets a nice bonus every year and off the cards and all that sort of shit. But like that, the thing is, you're going to struggle to stop that.
No.
But what? It's just the bad ones are like where you say, "I'll ruin your whole career."
It's the part that we don't see. Like, we're not privy to what happens in Hollywood. So then when something like this comes out, whether it be Spacey and a kid or whether it be Weinstein and all these women, it's sort of like a flash of like, this is what happens. And now all of a sudden all news corporations are on it, and this person's been sort of chastised and thrown out. Like, Weinstein's off on his own. No one's coming, and maybe some at first might have, but no one's now coming trying to defend him, because that's it. And now this opens, you know what I mean, the doors for all these women to be like, yeah, he did this to me, did that to me, he looked at me wrong, and he sent me a postcard. Like, it's now he's on the outside. It's very easy for people to target him, I guess.
It's like that Kevin Smith guy. So they wrote Clerks and
No?
Jay and Silent Bob. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that. I don't know who this guy is.
Kevin Smith. Most of his work was with Miramax. This guy.
Yeah.
Most of his work was with Miramax, which fucking dickhead owns Weinstein.
Yeah.
So all the residuals now from any movie Weinstein was involved in is going to a women's charity.
Oh, right.
Because he doesn't want to make money off what Weinstein produced anymore.
What Weinstein's built, like.
Yeah, even though, I mean, look, if you look at his fucking list of films,
Yeah,
his movies there, like 45 on the right, like all the movies he's made or been in, they're all massively like cult classics.
Yeah.
Like Dogma, that was a big cult classic, and like they're all, what's it called? There's more down the bottom, like the real ones that were like classic, like Cults, Clerks, and thingy. Good Will Hunting, he was involved in.
Okay.
So all of them make a lot of money because people still fucking stream them.
Yeah.
Because they have these little followings around these movies, Jay and Silent Bob, shit like that.
You might be in, you know what I mean, HMV or whatever, or
Yeah.
and you might just purchase one just
Because
because. Oh
they're
yeah, I
fuck
remember
with-
this film. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's buy that.
Yeah.
I
And-
buy old films all the time.
And he's what's it called? He's
So every like little bit he's earning now off any Weinstein film, he's like ferrying off to a charity,
Yeah.
which is fair enough. I mean, he must feel a bit not to blame, but a bit like he was involved in it.
Yeah.
Because like you don't know who people are. I don't know. Like half the people you meet in your day-to-day life, you don't know who they are. You don't know.
They could be into all sorts of weird shit. Couldn't
They could be anybody, like anyone. They like even when it comes out on like. You know, you have Facebook groups like local towns. When it comes out like such and such as this or...
Somebody's robbing money off a charity.
Yeah, you're like, fucking hell. I saw the other day, like, and I don't know, I'm not in this world yet, so I don't have children, but I saw some woman post about some guy that was chatting to her daughter, and it was like...
Oh, I've
kids,
seen that.
Yeah, kids are curious. This girl, she must be like 14, 13 or something.
And he sent her all their messages. On
Yeah,
Insta.
and then she like posted like a screenshot of her Facebook Messenger, and it was just guys down the side just chatting to her, and they didn't, none of them looked young, like.
No.
And it was sort of like, one, who's she accepting? Has she been educated in, you know, like... And I know you say it's educated in, but when I used to go on the internet, there was no one trying to target. When I was a kid, and I don't know whether I was an ugly kid or whatever. No, but like that day and age, it wasn't really a tool. Do you know what I mean? I don't think we weren't that old enough
I
then.
think on MSN, now I look back on it,
Yeah.
there was girls that I got addies from
Yeah.
like London.
Yeah.
Right? And they had just one picture on their thing.
Yeah, you used to chat
And
to
I
him,
thought
and
they
might
were dead
not.
good looking.
Yeah.
And then I remember them saying things that were a bit dirtier than shit you'd think of.
But you're sort of a kid, and it's all like new and crazy.
They were a bit dirtier than you'd have thought of at 14 or 13. And I honestly think that probably a lot of them were creepy men.
Yeah.
Now, thinking back, and I think you don't realise because at the time it's like, you're showing your mate, look at this picture. Look at they're like, she only got one picture. And you're like, yeah, but like back then, remember, she only had one picture back then. That was like, well, that's because that's the only picture she'd been able to upload. We didn't have camera phones, you know what I mean? So there's no camera phones, and you just sort of like, yeah, that's got to be her. That's definitely her.
Yeah.
And you're looking at this photo, and then she's sending you some like messages, and then they'd send you like, I don't know, a picture of someone's arse or a picture of some tits.
And you don't know
But
if they're hers.
Yeah, you don't know if they're hers. You didn't know how to cross-reference on Google.
No.
And there was no fucking face in the photo.
No one had written the book. You know what I
No.
mean? You were at the forefront of it.
We were the forefront of creepy paedophiles.
Yeah. And I bet a lot of them got away with a lot of shit.
I reckon most of the people like when you had girls that you knew talking to you, that's fine. Or when you had girls locally that someone had been like, oh, this is a girl I know from Windsor, and she's a bit of a hoe, and you were like, oh shit, I'll try and message her. Because that's what you did. You were fucking 14. Let's be honest about the damn thing. No point lying about it. Like, everyone was using MSN as a fucking, like, the original Tinder.
The best was where you were with your mates at a sleepover, and they'd all be like out of camera shot, and you'd just be chatting.
Yeah, and you'd have a girl trying to get on cam, like, and you'd be like, you'd send in your best troop, like the best lad. Oh, he'll do it. He'll get her on cam.
Yeah, log on to his and add her, and then
But
God,
like,
we were just
savages, little
kids,
fucking
crazy.
animals. That's what
you sit up every night
little
on
boys
chat,
are. Little
just
fucking
talking.
animals.
Hormones, raging hormones.
But you'd be chatting to every girl, and then you'd log in and log out, so girls would see you pop back up, and they'd be like, "Oh, she doesn't talk to me now. She doesn't like me." Like all that shit. It was deep, mate. But the truth of the matter is, that place was swamped with fucking creepy pedos.
Never thought of it though. Never even crossed my mind.
No, it only crossed my mind recently when we were talking about fucking MSN to someone.
Yeah.
And then they were like, I used to think to myself, I had all these girls from like, said they were from London, and I'd get like their addies off fucking mini clip games or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'd be chatting to some girl in London, and if they wouldn't go on cam, they'd say, oh, we didn't have a cam, and you'd be like, oh, all right. Like
Fair enough. She's not got a cam.
She's not got a cam. That's it.
These days you can't get away with that. Everyone's
These
got
days
cams.
you're like, you haven't got a cam, all right, fuck you. Do you know what I mean? Like, no. What do you mean you haven't got Skype, you weirdo?
Yeah.
But like back in the day, You knew nothing of this sort of stuff, but I guarantee you we were all talking to paedophiles. All of us.
Yeah, maybe one or two.
I guarantee you when you had like one addy that got shared and everyone was like, yeah, she's a fucking hoe, she's talking to me filthy and all that shit when you're at school. And I guarantee that was some fucking freaky fucking weirdo.
You think that shit must be safer now then? If a parent's wise, they can sort of monitor it.
The thing is now, right, they could have monitored it then, because they could have just gone and looked at all your chat logs.
Right,
and they could.
Well, they weren't privy to. My dad didn't have a fucking Scooby-Doo.
No.
He's like, "What are you doing on that computer? Why is it going off? Why is it beeping out?" You just go like, "Oh, bling, bling, bling."
Just put your earphones in.
Yeah,
and then
it was always every time you got a message, it was just
listening
like
to music,
bling, bling.
But now, right, the problem isn't now that your parents don't know how to check your chat logs. That was the issue back then. If they'd just found out, they could have checked your chat logs and gone, block out when you're not talking to this. Fucking.
Now, go on.
Now, the problem is, they don't know where you're talking to everyone.
No, you could talk to anyone anywhere. You could go into the toilet for 5 minutes on your phone and you could be talking to anyone in the world.
It's not even that, mate. Like, you think now, right?
You go stay at a friend's house, you could be talking to anyone. Like, some girl could be like, who has parents that are less, do you know what I mean? Strict.
I'm not even on about that. I'm on about, like, what app are you talking to him on?
Yeah.
So you go on here and it's like Snapchat, right? So you can monitor Snapchat.
Yeah.
Why have you got a load of snaps off this? Who's this? Who's that? Facebook, Instagram, whatever.
Who are your friends? Who's following you? Who are in your DMs?
There's all these weird ones like chat roulette.
Yeah.
And then, like, there's more that we don't know about.
Omegle.
There'll be different WhatsApps that we don't know anything about.
There's people adding people on Xbox Live. Like, my mate said his kid, like... He gets like a notification when he wants to add someone on Xbox Live, and he can look and see like, oh yeah, that's his friend. He can add that person or not. But then other people might not have a fucking clue. Do you know what I mean? And this is where, like, there's always stories about people, talking kids into like, I don't know, like it could be doing anything, even like suicide pacts, crazy shit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
On the internet, crazy shit.
Like, I bet you if you just went on there and put like chat rooms.
Just
Google chat rooms.
Thousands of chat rooms.
There's millions.
Oh yeah.
And you don't know which one your kids got onto.
No.
And it only needs to be like, I remember when I was like 14, 15 maybe, and it was like, I'd go on, I used to go on conspiracy websites, right? I used to love it.
Like forums and stuff.
Yeah, forums, right? So I'd go on like Above Top Secret it's the biggest one on the web. Used to go on there, right, and it had like, because it had a cryptozoology bit. I'd read that. It had the aliens bit, and it had the bit about like Area 51 and that, and a bit about the Illuminati. And I was like, right, I'm into it all.
Of course,
need it all these conspiracy. Right, and I'd go on there and I'd waste hours on there. You know, when you're fucking no girlfriend, you're fucking 17.
Yeah.
You can't really go to pub, and on a Wednesday night, if the footy's not on, what the fuck are you doing? Right? So I'd go on there and I'd read all this shit and I'd fucking dive into all this nonsense. But then there was, I realised very far into it that like maybe 6 months into doing this, that I was talking to people from all around the planet, pretty regular. I could send them private messages. They could send me private messages. And like, some of these people, like, you had to pretend you're 18 to sign up and all that shit.
That's another issue.
But it's not hard, is it?
No.
Pretend you're 18. You just
fucking,
how old am I? I'm 13, right? Just add 5 years on.
18, yeah. All right, and
well,
I was
you
born
just
in that
zoom
year.
down to like 32. Like 19, 30. It doesn't matter.
No.
Like,
that's the issue. That, like, people letting kids sign on to like Facebook. Like, Facebook's got like an age, I don't know what it is, 14 or something. And there's kids that are like 10 that are just saying they're 14. Do you know what I mean? And kids that are like, what do you call it? Just saying that they're saying they're any age. There's no like fact checking. Do you know what I mean?
But I used to click on threads. I remember clicking on threads on that, right? And I'd click on them and it'd be like, I seen Bigfoot, right? So I'd click on it thinking, oh, he's got a photo, he's got a video, blah, 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 whatever. So I click on this link. Sorry, man, I'm playing footsie with you. I click on this link. Are we going to get Weinsteined now?
Go on.
I click on it and it'd be like, you could tell it was a child that had wrote like, I seen a big brown hairy man in the garden, blah, 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 blah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and it was just a fucking useless story.
Yeah.
Right? You could tell that was a kid, but everyone's supposed to be 18 or above, or 16, whatever it was. But you could tell this was like some 10-year-old kid that's got too much spare time and too much access to the internet that's going on there and reading all these conspiracies, all this weird shit. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
And they might be making them up for fun or God knows what. Or
it's just making them up. He's made up a story because he wants to be part of the community that are talking about it. And
All it takes is a couple of DMs, change an email.
But like I could tell at 17 that was a child.
Yeah.
So if I was some fucking pedo or perv or whatever,
Expert child.
yeah, do you know what I mean? But like, you just scan through these things, these forums, and you could spot things like a mile off replies. You could just spot how
Yeah,
they're communicating.
Yeah, I've seen the hairy man as well. Tell me more. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
like I'm an expert. Like, could I come down and see where you're seeing him and all this shit? Do you know what I mean?
I'll meet you there. Yeah.
All this sort of creepy stuff can go on, and the internet's like the Wild West. And I don't want it to change because it brings greatness to things.
Yeah, that's why, in a way, that's why it is so good.
But at the same time, I feel like people need to just watch the fucking kids and stop leaving kids with creepy agents and fucking Hollywood executives. Just demand to be in the meetings.
Yeah.
Demand to be there. If you're taking my kid for dinner, I'm going.
Yeah.
Do you
But
know-
then, what about the kids that haven't got like parent figures and?
Well, how are
it's
they
like,
getting
that's
acting
always-
jobs? I'm not being funny.
No, but it's even like people going on about how kids in orphanages got, you know what I mean? Like, how do we protect children?
Give
And then
kids tasers.
Once we protect them in this country, how do we protect them in other countries? And God knows. It is a fucking minefield.
It's
And I
too
feel
much,
like this
mate.
is just like the tip of the iceberg we're seeing.
Too much.
Yeah.
It's hurting my brain now.
But the internet, yeah. Like, I feel like there's the Wild West and there's somewhere where you really need to pay attention on what your kids are doing.
Exactly. Couldn't have said it better.
At least you can help just the smallest of bits.
Yeah. Well, if people just talk to the kids like they're a bit more intelligent, a bit older, kids might not fucking hide everything from them.
No, I know. I feel like that woman on Facebook, she most is obviously like, oh my God, my kid's talking to all these people, do you know what I mean? But like,
because
you need to take a bit of responsibility.
Because my mum and dad were pretty open about everything. Like, I never hid the fact that I smoked weed or tried magic mushrooms in Thailand from them or any of that stuff, or had a fag.
Yeah.
So then when I have an issue or when I had an issue with anything,
You'd feel like you just
I feel
talk
like
to
I
them.
would say, oh shit, that went wrong. Like, you know what I mean? I think it makes life easier. Talk to your damn kids.
When I came into M99, I didn't have a fucking clue what we were going to speak about. I thought it was
No.
UFC 217 and
We barely broke that down. I'm
didn't
bored of
even
it.
realise that Facebook were going to kick our live stream.
Fuck you, Facebook. Again.
I don't know what we're going to do. We're going to have to figure
Vimeo. That's
yeah.
it. Vimeo are fucking letting anyone do anything. That's the real Wild West of video services. God damn it.
We're going to have to live
Vimeo
stream.
from the new studio at the 100th ep. Fuck you, Facebook. You missed out on at least 10 followers.
We have to live stream elsewhere. Screw Facebook.
Right.
So you can catch us for the 100th ep. It is coming. It will be... What will that be? Friday the 10th?
Friday the 10th.
We might come back before, but we're
No,
trying
we're not. We're not. Fuck off.
No, but
The
yeah.
100th ep is the 100th ep. We're not doing
I
this
just feel
bullshit.
like it's a long time away.
Well, why have we planned it for a week in advance?
Because we can't do it this Friday, because people are busy.
What about next Friday?
That's when it is.
Alright, so it's a week away.
It's not a week, it's a
Fucking
week.
it's a week on Friday, boys.
Yeah, we're
and
becoming
girls.
well more regular
Alright,
these days.
so you've
The
got to wait
podcast has
10
become
days.
big
We'll
time.
we'll re-release, we'll repost a load of old episodes.
You taking it on?
Yeah, I'll just fucking copy the links. One a day, right up until the 100th episode. My 10 favourite podcasts. Boom.
Jesus, you're actually going to do that?
Yeah, there you go.
Listen to some of our old ones. There's 100 of these bitches.
Right, I'll post the 10 best or weirdest.
This is the Educated Apes podcast. Get us at educatedapes.com.
We're out.
Educated Apes. At Educated Apes on Twitter. Educatedapes.com on Instagram. And
Fuck Aaron Gray.
yeah, fuck us.
Peace.
Cop some of our new memes.